I feel that I have this very naive kind of approach to life that I am invincible, I am powerful, and I will not die.
Right. I don't think that's naive. I think that's logical.
So yeah,
It's like, I am all powerful.
I am all powerful. So, and I think that kind of attitude,
Yeah.
when it's sunk in, and it has been there since early age, and I've always
Yeah,
felt
5
that
years old.
Welcome to WITT. Hi, I'm Megan. I talk with founders, investors, and operators working in tech. My aim is to inspire you with their stories and perspectives. Through this podcast, I want to amplify the voice of women working in tech.
Hello, everyone. First off, I want to say a huge thank you to all of my listeners and supporters. This is the 50th episode for WITT and the last one for a while. I have learned so much from this experience, and I will be forever grateful to all of the amazing women that I have interviewed. Without further ado, the 50th speaker. Today's guest is Christina, a Finnish communications leader and ethics champion, shaping how organizations tell their stories responsibly. Let's get into it.
Hi, Christina. Welcome to
Meg.
WITT. Yes. So it's great to have you on the podcast. I'm really excited for our episode. And as you know, as I've already told you, this is the 50th episode for WITT, which is very exciting. Very exciting. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast with me.
Thank you, Megan, for asking me, and thank you for waiting for me to be here. But I'm so
course.
honored. I have the privilege of doing the 50th podcast with you. This is such an honor. I feel very, very humble and also very lucky to be in this position with you. Thank you.
No, it's my honor, honestly. But let's kick off our conversation. So let's go straight into the lightning round. Is that okay?
Yes.
Great. Okay, so first question. If you weren't in the tech space, in the tech industry, what would you be doing?
Probably nutrition at this point.
Love it. Okay, great answer. Question, a great one for Finland. Summer cottage or skiing?
Neither.
Neither.
I am not a cottage person at all.
Very controversial.
Yes. Yeah, I'm very not Finnish in that way. And I don't particularly like skiing. I do like cross-country skiing, but not downhill skiing. So it doesn't really require a ski resort because you can cross-country ski everywhere, even in Helsinki. So I say neither. But if you would twist my arm, I would probably say summer cottage, but with a twist. It needs to be in the city.
Okay. So not really. I mean, fair enough. But yeah, very untraditionally Finnish, which is very funny. Okay, next question. Who is the one person that you haven't met yet but would love to meet?
Wow, this is difficult. There are so many people I would love to meet. What would I say?
I think of like celebrities. That's what most people answer.
Celebrities. I don't really care about celebrities. No. Well, maybe Buzz Aldrin.
That's a good one.
Buzz Aldrin would be. He's still alive of the Apollo 11 crew. So Buzz would be someone that I would really appreciate meeting.
That's a great answer. My answer to this question is always Michelle Obama.
Yes, I do.
Because I mean, who wouldn't?
Who wouldn't? Yeah,
exactly.
She's quite inspirational.
Okay, next amazing question is, what is your favorite color?
Blue.
Okay,
very Finnish.
Lovely. And then number 6, I like this question a lot. If you could wave a magic wand and change anything about the world or anything about the tech industry, what would it be?
I would change in the world the brain drainage of people, because brain energy, our brains are lacking energy all over the world at the moment because our nutrition is not in place. So we are suffering from brain fatigue. And of course, mental problems are sort of they come from that energy deficiency. So I would change the brain energy power of all people around the world, because if we have all that brain energy, we can solve all the problems that we need to solve.
Love it. Very interesting. I'm sure we'll get into that later. But next question, what is the most underrated company that you know?
underrated
Yeah.
company. At this point, I would say that quantum computing companies are underrated. In Finland, we have IQM, for instance, and I think even though they got financing, it's still undervalued, underrated in many ways. If we look at the huge potential and whatever quantum will be bringing to the world, I think all our focus should be in our resources in quantum technology and capabilities and skills in that area.
Cool. Very interesting. Okay, next question. What is your advice to a younger you?
Keep speeding up,
Okay.
and keep your positive energy. Never stop playing.
Love it.
I love play because play gives you courage, and it also gives you ideas, and it sort of lets you go beyond boundaries because you're not afraid, because you're just playing.
And your imagination really evolves.
Yes,
through
exactly.
play.
Yes.
Love
yes.
that. Love that answer. Okay, and then last question for the lightning round, the most important question, is if you had to describe your entrepreneurial journey in 3 emojis, what would they be and why?
Okay, how do I describe the emojis? Okay, you know the emoji with the brain kind of going crazy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think
Brain
that is
exploding.
brain exploding. That, I guess, is one of the emojis. The starstruck emoji is definitely one of them. And then the power, the muscle power.
Yeah.
Or the brain. I think, I have to be honest, the brain kind of everything is like, what the hell is happening? And then there are those start moments, and then you just have to remind yourself every morning that you have to have a lot of power to overcome any obstacles, and also to get up when you fail, because you fail so often.
Yeah. Love it. Some good emojis.
Good emojis. Yes.
A lot of the emojis that I get are a lot of like just dying or celebrating at the same time. But that was really awesome. Thank you for answering my lightning round questions.
Thanks, Meg.
And let's now move on to your very, very long journey. No offense. So you started your life as an army brat, and you lived in 35 places before you were 18, which is very impressive and more than me. Not by a lot, but still more than me. So how did that constant kind of change shape the way that you kind of go through life and your character?
I think it gave me a lot of confidence. And if we think about the 21st century life skills that everyone is now talking about, so we need to have media literacy, technology literacy, but we also need to have flexibility, leadership skills. And I would say that I got basically all those skills through that, because I had to adapt to all kinds of situations. The moment I had like friends, routines, places, education, sort of, now I know how this works. Okay, a new change. So you picked up from that what feels comfortable and okay, to a new situation where you have to start building everything again. So I would say that it gave me something that I didn't really realize when I was growing up, because for a child, everything that you get, you feel like this is okay, this is natural, this is what should be happening anyways. You don't have comparison to what it could be, like what could be a stable life for a kid. But if you are constantly removed from what you feel is okay. Of course, my family has always been there. So the core confidence and the core sort of emotional stability is there. So I learned to be that, whatever happens around, I still have my closest ones with me, which I think is really fine. But adapting to new situations and making new connections and still keeping the old ones, that is what we are now facing, because the world is changing so fast. But I got to experience this like 4 decades, or 4 decades already. So in my life, or 50 decades, 5 decades. So basically, it's inspirational now that I understand that I was given these 21st century life skills as a how my parents
constantly
raised me up.
Constantly at a kind of state of fluctuation, which I'm like have very similar background. We moved around a lot when I was a kid. But
you're still a kid.
Yeah, exactly. but it definitely prepares you a lot for life as a whole, because you never know really what's going to happen, and as the state of the world is at the moment, it is very much in fluctuation all of the time. Definitely, you're always in a state of fluctuation, which is kind of good, because then it prepares you for the world in fluctuation.
Exactly.
Which is great.
Exactly. And I have to compliment you. I met you when you were, I think, 15.
Yeah, I think
15,
so. Yeah.
for the first time. And when I interviewed you, you were like a lightning. Like, what? She's only 15. She's so well rounded with ideas, how structured you were, and how sort of how you approached things. So the level of maturity was already way beyond like any 15-year-old. So you reminded a lot about myself. So I immediately sort of
connected. On the right track then.
Yes, I immediately connected with you, because I thought, wow, she's like, she has seen the world, and she has seen different places, and she has faced the same kind of things I faced when I was at your age.
Yeah.
I think I was a bit, because that was a long time ago, I think I was a bit more mature in a way that I was acting very adult-like at 15, because that kind of behavior was more expected of you. But nowadays, I think people can now act more of their age and still be sort of come up and look like they're well educated and smart and so forth. So you don't have to be a stiff upper lip to sound
it's a
credible.
very interesting dynamic, balancing being very mature for my age, but also wanting to still be a kid at the same time. It's very difficult, because you're constantly kind of like, I prefer to talk to adults, but I would like to have friends that are my own age. So it's difficult, but it definitely helps with like building relationships and networking and stuff like that. It's given me like all of these things in the podcast so far is through my ability to talk to others and that kind of stuff, and that's just strengthened it. But let's move on. You talked a little bit about stability and the fact that your parents and your kind of family were your stability, and there was like another kind of stability that you had in your life, which was living on an island in the Helsinki harbor, which is an old Swedish fortress now. And I want to understand, what is the best and the worst parts of island life? Because you've said that you don't like summer cottages. So what were the best parts of the island?
Well, that was the first island I lived on. I have lived on several islands, but that was my last island I lived on, and that's Suomenlinna in front of Helsinki. It's a UNESCO heritage site as well, and of course the fortress there was built during the Swedish time, and it was carried on during the Russian time, and of course now it's the Finnish time has evolved it as well. The island life, especially in Suomenlinna, it's part of Helsinki city, but it's connected. We don't have other connection besides the ferry. And the ferry, back in the day, it just ran only once an hour, and the last ferry was around midnight, and earliest one was around 6 in the morning. So if you miss the last ferry, you couldn't just go home. So I would say that for as a kid, or I was a student at that time as well. It was really I learned to manage my days, because I had to come to the center of Helsinki.
You'd have no hope.
Yeah, and that was a time that we didn't have mobile phones, by the way. So you had to plan the whole day. Plan ahead. Make sure that everything is in place. So I think it sort of gave you that kind of a structure that you need to plan your days. Make sure that, and you are on time, because even a second late, the ferry never waits. The ferry's gone, so you're not going home. And in the winter, it would not be fun.
No, that would not be great.
That would not be great. So it gives you the harsh realities of life. That plan ahead, be on time. On the other side, especially in the summertime, because it's still one of the most visited places in Finland for tourists. It has over 1 million tourists a month, crazy. And they usually come in during the three summertime months. having the island packed with tourists, of course,
fun experience.
fun experience. Yeah, your home is always sort of
Yeah.
everyone is watching.
Yeah, like a zoo.
Like
Yeah.
it's like exactly like the zoo in Korkeasaari. Yeah. But of course, since I love history, and Suomenlinna history is very much, it's military history.
Very
it incorporates everything, so you can tell our history through Suomenlinna history, and technology history as well, and cultural history. It's so rich. So that got me very excited, because I was there doing also guided tours for friends, and even some people wanted to pay for it for me for doing guided tours. Nice. I was the Aboriginal person there, so that was one of the best parts for me, to have that experience, to live in that kind of special place. I think it gave me also one of those, like I would call black belts, in a way that I have this power to speak for these special places and special history issues, and also preserve what we need to preserve from our, what we tell, legacy, and also what does it mean for us now and for the future. So it gave me a lot spiritually, but on the physical side, I didn't really love it. A lot of walking, and also, at that time we didn't have central heating, so our home was heated with logs. So we had a fire. I had a fireplace in my room. I had a huge room, and I had to, in the winter, we had to carry in the log, warm up my room. I put the fire on, and warm the room, and that part I just didn't like. It was harsh.
It sounds great. It sounds like it was so much fun.
Yeah, and we didn't have a warm water. We had a boiler.
That doesn't sound great.
And one thing, if my brother, my younger brother, if he went to have a shower in the morning,
there was none left.
There was none left.
Then you've got that's the summer cottage
experience. That's why I have had my share of summer cottages. And also when we lived on the military islands, of course, that was a summer cottage life, because we didn't have internal bathrooms. I think I had my first warm water when I was from the faucet when I was 8.
Wow.
As I had in home. So basically, I think I've sort of had my share of,
fair enough,
not so fancy living. So I don't prefer that as a holiday.
You're privileged to the fancy things.
Exactly.
Yeah, nice.
My holidays, everything works and everything is easy.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, no, because we have a summer cottage, as you know.
Yes,
lovely. And I love it. I think it's great. But that's because I've never experienced it before. Yeah, because obviously living in London and living in the US, everything works, everything's fine. You have heating, you have your hot water. So living in a summer cottage, which literally everything breaks every 5 seconds, is very fun to me.
Yeah, well, it's different.
Yeah, it's different, and it's a really traditional Finnish experience, which is really cool to experience.
Yes.
At least
it's different
for some time.
It's for some time, and know for a fact that within an hour or an hour and a half, you can actually be on the mainland. Yeah, exactly. And have everything there. Exactly. So you're not
there's no can't leave or
So it's you choose to have it sort of to tone down, scale down the whole luxury kind of thing. And I think it's good for mental resilience and sort of winding down and and being in nature. Definitely it has its benefits.
Yeah, because you have literally no distractions. You can't really think about anything else.
Exactly.
You've got other problems.
Exactly. And it can be a very good digital detox as well.
Yeah, of course.
And if it's not roaming, perfect. Use that opportunity to just wind down and enjoy. And of course, I think it's really remarkable the difference that if you spend the whole day in a forest, or even half a day in a forest, just walking in the forest, you can see how much your stress levels go down. Like everyone who's an aura,
Definitely.
you can because this measures it. You can actually see. Come on.
Yeah.
You go to the forest and your stress levels go down, and you basically down, and then you come out from the forest and they start
And they
climbing.
go. It's interesting.
You
It
need to
is.
have that. So basically, here, even in Helsinki, when everyone has a forest nearby, basically, or at least a small park
Closer. Yeah.
close by, you should be taking those moments where you go out to level
Definitely.
your stress level.
Yeah. Because otherwise, everyone just explodes, and that's not good.
Yeah,
So-
and we should actually not think about stress, working with stress on weekends or evenings. We should actually plan our whole day so that it does have these downward stress. Then you go up again and you go down.
You go up and then you go down.
Yeah. So the whole day should be up and down curve, not like you go up and you stay up and the whole week is up, and then
Makes
during the
sense.
weekend you try to
To
calm
go down again. Yeah.
and
'Cause
that's
that
not the
doesn't
way
work.
to do it. That's
Yeah.
absolutely wrong. Or the Finnish way that everyone is just waiting for the summer vacation to wind down. That's completely wrong.
Yeah.
In
Should try
terms
to
of
monitor
yes,
throughout
every
the
single
week.
day
Yeah.
you need to do the same thing. And if you do it like that, that's how you keep on going, and you can actually benefit a lot from the low stress moments, because then you can actually have really high peaks. It's like you can go Usain Bolt kind of thing. And then you come down again, and then, okay, fine. And then I can do this really massive strike again. So you actually creating superpowers if you wind down many times a day.
Yeah. Makes sense. I mean, it's a super interesting topic. We could probably talk about this for the entire
Exactly.
episode, so we should probably move on. And we'll switch gears and we'll talk about cybersecurity, because I know this is one of your favorite topics to talk about. And we'll also talk about crisis communications. So first of all, let's get a general kind of description, or your description of what cybersecurity and crisis communication means. What does it mean?
What does it mean?
Yes.
Well, currently everything is a lot of stuff is digital, but the landscape of digital threats have changed completely. Last year, 24, it is estimated that the damages from cybercrime, whether it's from criminals or state-sponsored, globally caused over 9 trillion euros of damages. 9 trillion, and now
Crazy.
it's way over 10 now, and it's escalating, and it's going really hockey stick start up. Because there are criminals have found it the easy way to make money, but also the geopolitical situation is so vulnerable, so it's also one of those vectors for war. And because it's a vector for war as well, it's used as a weapon of different states. So we don't know what is hitting us all the time. It can be criminals or it can be states as well. So everything that is digital can be attacked. And there are many, many vulnerabilities, even though we think that we have measures, and a lot of people say that our software or our services are built with security by design, but that's security basically for the world that we knew, but now not for the new threats that we have, because there's a lot of power behind the attacks, and there's a lot of willpower to actually hurt, like critical infrastructure. So cyber is a war zone at the moment, and I think we should start thinking of it as a war zone. How do you prepare not to just random attacks? And like many people say, or businesses think that we don't really have, why would anyone attack us? There are multiple reasons. And ransomware attacks, where they lock your systems. And of course, if your digital systems are locked, you want to uncrypt them, and they hold you hostage with your data, which can be your whole business, by the way. So we are in a completely different situation now than we were before, and therefore everyone should take cyber security seriously. not only on a business level, but on our individual level as well.
Yeah.
Every single one should be prepared, because it's hitting you as much as it's hitting any company or any state or anyone, because
Yep.
we are all there with our IDs
Yep.
and
Digital footprint.
digital
Yeah.
footprint. And it's not only the cyber vector, it's also the information war vector. If you think about information war at the same time, because they are together as well, because you are duped to do something, and you are given information that makes you feel unbalanced, so you make bad choices as well. So you are much more easier to manipulate when you are not stable.
Yeah.
So you can give like your bank credentials or your mobile ID credentials by mistake to a wrong service, and then you are basically screwed.
Yeah.
They steal your money and your identity and everything. So it is such a serious issue at the moment that we do a lot of preparedness work on that side to educate people and companies how to prepare for it. But if I think about from businesses side, the crisis communications that we need to have in place is one critical part, because it's also the managing of the crisis is about communication. So it's the how do you manage it communication wise, and how do you communicate to all the stakeholders so that they understand what is at stake. And the stakeholders are regulators, customers, internal people, anyone in your supply chain network. So it's vast. There are so many stakeholders you don't even realize. And if you operate on a global level, you have multiple jurisdictions, multiple regulations, multiple issues that you have to tackle at the same time. So it's such a complicated area that if you are not prepared for it, you're doomed.
Yeah. No, it sounds, you've told me about this before, and it sounds like such a absolutely so complicated thing to kind of wrap your head around. But I really want to go more into the cybersecurity incidents, right? So you talked about this with the kind of preparedness and trying to make sure that if something happens, you're ready.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's the most important thing you can do, right? So how does your company, Net Profile, kind of do that? How do they make sure that these companies or these people are prepared? Because that's the ultimate goal. Right?
That's the ultimate goal. Yes. Well, based on our experiences, because we have been dealing with these for such a long time. So it was 5 years ago, we actually created, we sort of decided, it was the pandemic
Right.
at that time. So we decided this is the time to sort of put our what we have experienced, what know from experience. Let's create a model really to how do we manage a cyber crisis.
Right.
And that's when we came up with this age 72, and age 72 comes from 72 GDPR at 72-hour requirement to report of an incident to the regulatory bodies. Now it's 24 hours because we have NIS2 and cyber law, which some businesses need to report in 24 hours if there's a cyber attack on their data. So we created the model, and based on the model, we also created services that how we help them to prepare for it. So we do these audits, which is not audit in a sense that you get certified, but this is just sort of a auditing, and it's a list of questions for companies. Do you have this? Do you have this? Do you have this? And one of the questions is
like a checklist.
it's a checklist. It's a checklist. And after that checklist, it's a discussion. We put everything on the table, and the company, different disciplines need to sort of realize that, hey, do we have a cybersecurity insurance? And some companies like, do we? They don't even know. They don't even know. And we don't require, it's a lot of the stuff is not that you are required to have, but it's just to put it on the table. Do you have it?
This?
And if this is a conscious decision that you don't have it or you have it, and why do you have it or why you do not have it. So it's more about making sure that on a strategical level, they understand that they have to know why they have something and what does it mean, and why they don't have something and what does that mean, whether it's a strength or weakness. So, and after that, we usually, they usually decide, okay, we need to go back to the drawing board and internally decide that, okay, we're going to go for that and we have to do that. So some disciplines take care of some things. The communications people, usually, of course, for them, it's, do you have ready-made statements, Q&As? Do you have a stakeholder list? Do you have a war room system? What do you do in crisis in offline? Do you have any crisis management
what kind
plans?
of like, what's the procedure?
What's the procedure? And all of, what do you say when you cannot say anything? What do you do when nothing works? All of that. And so that's the crisis plan. And if they don't have that, that's something that we can work on with them. And then we come up with, we have these crisis management and communications workshops where we actually, it's very detailed, but we actually put stuff together. And then once we have that, then what we do, we go to simulation. And in simulations, we of course talk with the IT, and the IT usually, they know a lot about what the potential vulnerabilities are, risk managers as well. So we sort of play around with those, and then we create a scenario that is very tailored
to kind of test
the plan. And then we go, we put the simulation, and then we have this 3-hour simulation with the crisis team, and they get to test if their plan actually works, and they can would work. And that, for every single company, that is always mind blowing. And they go, wow, because it's not only that you have a plan, but you have tested it, which means that you actually learn to operate the plan. Because a lot of time you have this strategy, but it's not operable. People don't know what to do and what skills do you need to have to be able to do it, because there are quite many skills-based things. And if you don't have people with those skills, there's no execution. So, and execution is everything in crisis.
Absolutely. I mean, it just sounds really, really, really cool. Like, I would love to be in one of these rooms and experience this crisis test, because like you wouldn't think of it. Like if I had a massive company and I, if I was a massive risk to a cybersecurity attack, this is not something that you would think of, even if you are like aware that this is something that happens and blah blah blah. This is not something that you immediately like, oh yeah, we need a plan just in case everything's fine now, but just in case something happens, we need a plan. But it's like obvious, it's so obvious. It's like, of course, because something probably might happen, so you may as well be prepared. It just, it just makes sense.
It makes sense. And because of the current law, you are required, if your company is required under NIS 2 and NIS 2 and the cyber law, if you belong to those group of companies, you are required to teach your company people about cybersecurity. You are also required to have simulations. So it's mandatory now, but still many companies, it's very psychological, because the risk managers in all companies and the IT people who face these harsh realities, they are not the most popular persons in the business. And and for any, because businesses are not built for war.
No,
businesses are built to build something cool and make it easy and accessible and fun, maybe, but easy and accessible and scalable, and all those attributes that we find that are everyone's, that's cool. We have interconnectivity, we have open networks so that anyone can tap in, blah blah blah, make it very, very fun and easy and so forth, and smooth,
user friendly
and everything. But now but that's how businesses build businesses and are successful. And all of a sudden openness, open access to things becomes a risk, a huge risk, and you have to start accessing the risks. And if you think about not only IT, but OT, which is the operational technology, so all manufacturing companies, think about big machines, big machines like mining machines or construction machines, machines that have more digital space, digital components, and huge supply chain, also different vendors. And you need interoperability between parts, right? So you have open access to certain things
to make
and
the things that you're making.
exactly. But all of a sudden, these things become attack vectors for for criminals or people who want to do bad for you. Also, if you think about digital twins, which they usually have, like a machine, they have the digital twin, and there are sensors out there. So each and every sensor can be an attack vector. And when we start thinking, okay, we built this world where we said that digital will be will give us all these benefits like fleet management, easy access, and interconnectivity, all that fun. And it gives us benefits, but not anymore, because now every single joint is basically
it's a weak point.
Is a weak point.
Yeah.
And
so every part that needs to be put in place by a different person, by a different company, whatever it is an attack point.
It's an attack point.
It's kind of like you could relate it to the human body, like each joint, as you said, each joint is a point of weakness.
Exactly.
Because it's connected to something else and connected to something else and blah, blah, blah.
So it's like arthritis, right?
Yeah.
So we consider,
it's like age, body breaks down over time.
It's a good enough. But that's how we see the world now, and I think this will fundamentally change a lot of businesses and how we think about digital space. And I would argue, and I hate to say this because I believe in the digital benefits that we get, but for a period of time, we probably have to roll back some things that we were already planning on doing
for
safety reasons, and also making sure that it's you don't have these easy access lateral movements for criminals to, once they get inside to your network somewhere, so that they can be sort of segmented somewhere, so that it's not an easy access to your whole network.
Makes sense.
So segmentation is becomes really critical, and the new kind of security thinking that we were not prepared for, but also now because we cannot secure everything at the moment. We have already spilled the beans. It's out there. So now we just have to start preparing. And there, yes, you said it sounds exciting and cool. Yeah, it is exciting and cool in a way. But for any business leaders, they don't want to talk about this because it is so painful.
Yeah.
It's so painful because this fights against everything that the business is there for.
Yeah. And you're basically tearing it all down
and
then rebuilding it all back up.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
which is, people don't like change.
People don't like change, and they don't like to hear about the threat vectors. They don't like to think about everything that can go wrong. Even when even small things go wrong, some cannot handle it.
Yeah, exactly. But let's move on to the next topic of conversation, because I feel like this is a very strong topic for you, and it is very interesting because it is human nature to constantly think the best and then not have that preparedness. Yeah,
we do. We like to think about the good things and not the bad things.
Exactly.
And we don't like to prepare for the bad things.
Because we don't think that they will happen.
Yes, because we don't want to. We want to look at the good things and put our efforts on the good things and not on the bad things.
Yeah, exactly. But let's transition into Slush, because as we all know, you do a lot of amazing things, but one of them is being the godmother.
Yes,
Okay.
and it's not
The
it's
godmother.
not my doing. It's Helsinki Sanamaku who actually
crowned you,
crowned me as the godmother of Slush.
Yeah, but for anyone who doesn't know what Slush is, it's the kind of the big universities run a tech event here in the Nordics, and a lot of students volunteer at it, and it's a really, really cool event. But I want to know kind of like the full story. So what was the kind of objective, and how is it going so far?
Well, it was 3 people who came up with the idea of having Slush, and then a third person came along. They contacted. He went, and that was Peter Westerbacka, and Peter asked me to join as well for the communications part, which was really small at the time because it was only 250 people event. And the idea was to have like peer support from startups to startups, and no like big governmental figures there. It was very much from startups to startups. That was the original story.
Yeah.
And it is sometimes lost because everyone wants to tell the history a bit differently. But I try to be honest about the history, and I like to credit the 3 persons who were students at the time who actually put the stuff together for the first time. And the actual first Slush logo was a moose.
I mean, of course, naturally,
it was a moose, and of course it was. We didn't even talk about investors at that time. It was all about peer support, just to bring in the startups.
Startups.
Yes, that was the original story. Investors came later,
right,
as part of this equation. So there was like, I would say that the Slush 1.0, then Slush 2.0.
2.0, yeah.
And I would probably say that after the pandemic, we have Slush 3.0. And of course, it's evolving all the time. And that's how things go. But I want to be really, really clear about the beginning of this, because if you even go to Wikipedia about Slush, I'm not really sure how well it tells the story from the beginning, because the media has been changing the story as well, and attributing it, kind of founded Slush to different people. Trust me, this is the original story.
Got it.
And I think we all stand on the shoulders of giants. Yeah. And I think we have to be very clear about who did what and credit the right people. So how was I there? I was asked to be part of it. We did the press release, the first Slush press release. We created that from Net Profile. We contacted some of the media. We had some media there, but most media was like, this is weird. Like, not even like, you don't have any high level speakers there and so forth. So it was, for them, from their point of view, this was nothing.
Right.
And I think that speaks volumes. That 250 startups in 2008, from the media perspective in Finland, was nothing.
Yeah.
Let that sink in. Where are we now?
Yeah. Like, what is it, 13,000 or something like that?
Oh, yeah. It was before the pandemic. We had 20,000.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So of course it scaled down. But if you think about how startups are being viewed, how they are in every single when people, everyone is praising how important it is for the ecosystem, for our development, for Europe, for everything. It's like they are the saviors of everything. 2008.
Yeah.
So I think that tells a good story about, in the beginning, we don't really see that something might be significant.
Entrepreneurship
as a whole. It is still, of course, we're now raising a lot of money. Finnish companies are raising a lot of money. They have raised a lot of money. Europe has raised a lot of money. So, and we have you and your dad here and everything. So you are also part of this ecosystem. You are here because of this movement as well.
Yeah.
So we have been able to actually create like a snowball here, that it's not melting, but it's
growing
bigger and bigger. We're getting more snowflakes.
Yeah.
So I think it's an inspirational story, because it started from the idea that let's have this event in Finland in November when we have Slush.
Yeah.
And because
it is a very interesting concept.
yeah, because the whole idea was to, hey, let's make it clear.
Yeah.
It's never good weather here. So let's just, and consequently, almost every slush, we have had slush.
Yeah. It's
And
very
usually-
impressive.
It's very impressive. Even the weather gods are on our side. So
Yeah,
when
yeah,
people
yeah.
come over here, the weather is shitty. And we totally embrace
And
that.
then it just makes people leave again, which
Yeah.
is what Finns want.
Yeah, come and see what's
Come and then
everything.
just go away because of the
Exactly.
weather.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've always found that it is very funny that it is almost every single year. It is slushy, rainy, snowy weather.
Yeah.
Around the time that slush is.
Right.
And it just means that all of the people that come here, now that this is an incredibly huge conference, they're just like, oh, Finland sucks. Because and that's only because of the exact time that they come. 'Cause, yeah, it's the weather sucks, Finland sucks. It's like you're totally throwing them the opposite way, because Finland can be so lovely in the summer.
It is, but we don't want to waste
they
the
don't want-
summer.
and they don't, just don't want them to come. Just please go away.
We don't want to.
It's actually really smart, but it's like the opposite of marketing.
No, but I think that still the core thing is that you have to understand that the conditions are not always optimal. And for any entrepreneur, if you prepare for the worst, you will be amazing.
Yeah.
Because you can flourish
Yeah.
even in slush. It's so easy to
That's-
shine when the sun is shining, but try to shine when it's slush. But if you can do that,
That's-
you can do anything.
That's interesting. I've never thought about it like that before, because I just thought it was just Finns being Finns and just be like, please stay out of my country.
No. We're just showing that, whatever you're given, like the world is giving you lemons.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that. No, but Slush it's such a cool conference, and I really did enjoy it the past couple of years of experiencing the different startups. And it is interesting that it went from 250, you said 250 startups just getting together, and now it's like, yeah, so many more.
And of course the when we had the first slush, the irony was that we had about 250 people there. We had quite many people wanting to come and sign up to come, but that morning or that night, we had a blizzard in Europe. So only the planes that were able to get up before the blizzard and land. Of course, in Helsinki you can always land because we have snow here.
Yeah.
So in Finland everything works, but in other parts of Europe, if there's a blizzard,
No one's going
anywhere. So only the ones who were able to get airborne before the blizzard were able to make it. So a lot of people, the foreigners who were coming, couldn't make it to the first flush because of the blizzard. So of course, I think it's a sort of a good reminder that anything can happen. What we took pride then, and we now take pride again. If you can get yourself off from wherever you're coming, Finland is still always open. You can always land in Finland.
Yeah. You just have to get from wherever you
are.
Yeah. Because nowhere is better than Finland.
But yet, then again, you can always leave Finland because of easy access, easy in, easy access out.
That's just kind of good though, freedom and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's really great. I would love to get your kind of opinion or your advice. And the question here says, which I think is great, is if someone wanted to be as amazing as you are, what can they do to kind of make the world a better place? And what can they do to kind of make themselves a better person? It's a very tough question.
Wow.
But you got this.
Okay. Well, I try to be brief. You have to take care of yourself physically, mentally, because if you don't have the energy, you are not helping yourself, and you can definitely not help others.
Yeah.
So I think you have to be a bit selfish about yourself and also recognize your potential.
Yeah.
And you can do better if you want to, but always be merciful towards yourself as well, because you have to love yourself enough so that you can and have the energy to love others. It all starts with you. And I sometimes see that people like to go and change others, or many times they like to change others or help others, but they're not helping themselves, and they get drained. And the world is a much better place if you take care of yourself first.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time to realize this. But luckily, I have always, I think it's because my upbringing and everything has been so sort of flexible all the time. I think I got this very early on, even though I didn't know it. But I had a lot of resilience. But I think my resilience turned into anti-fragility, which is more like thriving in chaos. So when there's a lot of chaos, I thrive. Because in chaos, a lot more people get totally drained. And for me, it's like, whoa, I get a lot of energy out of that chaos. And I like to put clarity into the chaos and ease it up for other people. I think that's my superpower.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think it all starts with yourself and being honest with your own health and your own path. And also, it doesn't mean that my life is stressless. Far from it. I go for the stress points, but because that's when we grow. We grow when we go to those areas where we feel very uncomfortable. You have to pressure yourself to do things that you fear, things that you don't like, make you uncomfortable, things that seem impossible. And all of a sudden you realize, well, come on, I can do it. And then you sort of have these, what I call black belts. You have black belt in that and black belt in that and then the world becomes so much clearer for you, and you are so ready to help others and be part of the solution because you yourself feel good about you and others. What I think is really important is that when people act badly or treat other people badly, it's because they themselves feel bad. And usually when somebody try to pick a fight, it's because you feel bad. That's when you want to fight with someone because it's you feeling bad. And I think we have to realize that when someone is picking a fight with you, rather than, all right, let's fight, to go, okay, how can I help you? Because you always have a problem if you want to fight with me. So I like to see that we have, if we have this power within, to realize that people are not feeling well and we can help them with our calmness, that's when we can really have peace, negotiation skills of calming situations down. And focus your energy on something more productive.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you heard it here first. This is a great sentiment, and you're so inspiring, and it's really great to get to talk to you. And we are now entering the part of the podcast which I like to call zigzag zone.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to do the shoulders. Very important.
Okay.
So I want to know where you're zigging and where everyone else is zagging. Now let's talk about, because we talked about this a little bit in the lightning round, but let's talk about health optimization and biohacking. What are your favorite biohacking methods? What does it mean to you as well? What does it mean to biohack?
Biohack is a data-driven individual health policy for me. So there's like all kinds of health policies around, or Finland has, this is how we manage people in health and social services. But for me, it's my own data. So I have a lot of biometrical data that I have and I get from labs. And then I have enough information to alter the labs that, if it's off, if I have too little iron or too much saline or whatever it is, then I change it because I want to be as healthy as possible and not take medicine to damn symptoms, because symptoms is a sign of something is wrong. And if you take medicine to most of the medicines for all kinds of like high blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, second type 2 diabetes, not first, but type 2 diabetes. They are, if you take medicine for that, it's just taking care of the symptoms, but it's not changing the root. And I want to go to the root causes of things to
solve
actually
the
heal.
actual problem.
Yeah, to solve the problem. And that is biohacking. Solve the problems. Don't take medicines. Yes.
Yeah.
Don't take medicine that you don't absolutely have to. Sometimes, yes, you have to take antibiotics. Yes, and there are medicines you have to take. So don't get me wrong. It's very clear. High blood pressure, cholesterol, and type 2 diabetes,
That kind of stuff.
all can be cured by just how you live for most of the
And
people.
being kind of mindful of what you do.
What you do, but basically what you eat and basically what you don't eat.
Right.
So for me, it's controlling the hormones, because hormones are the things that you put something in your mouth. It's hormones that actually decide what they're going to need to do with the stuff. There in if you have like sugar, for instance, sugar, it's glucose and fructose. Table sugar is half glucose, half fructose. Glucose is something that goes to your, of course, it's energy, but when it is in your blood, insulin from pancreas is the hormone that actually has it's supposed alert. There's glucose in the bloodstream. Okay, we have to go send insulin to take that and transfer that to the cells as energy.
To make it into energy.
Yeah, to make energy. And because you cannot have high blood sugar. Otherwise, when you have high blood sugar, you develop type 2 diabetes, and high blood sugar is disastrous. The end of that road is death somehow, either sooner or later. But what it actually does to your brain cells is quite dramatic, because now they're already saying that Alzheimer's is type 3 diabetes.
Oh, interesting.
And the sad thing is that these things don't kill you in a week or in a month or in a year.
A long period.
It's like 20, 30 decades.
Yeah.
That's when it kills you. So people are now
you don't really see it.
You don't realize
it's kind of too late.
It's too late.
Yeah.
So I think we have to be very mindful that the current way of living is not a healthy way of living. First of all, we eat too often. We eat too much sugar. We eat very, very bad fats and processed food, which has all kinds of chemicals that we should not be eating. So real food, when I eat food, for me, it is nutrients. It's nutrients. It's nutrients for my body, biochemically, structurally, and it's also nutrients for my microbiome, because microbiome is
very important.
Very important. It's like your second brain.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm just calling my first brain, because if my microbiome is not
it's off,
everything is off. And that's why a lot of people say, well, my stomach hurts. How do you feel when your tummy hurts?
Yeah, not good.
Not good.
Not good.
It drains you. And because even the hormones that make you feel good, make you feel calm and collected and happy and content, they are produced by your microbiome. So if your microbiome is not happy, you can be happy
then
too.
Not happy.
You're not happy. And leaky gut and all of that, because you're supposed to have everything intact. If your gut is leaking, that's when you get sick.
Yeah.
So there's a lot, I could go on and on
very
about.
Confusing.
It is. There's a lot to unravel in here, but it's so fascinating.
Yeah, it is.
Because if you really want to understand what health is from your perspective, individual perspective, you will thrive. Because if you think about the energy for the brain cells, we can have glucose. Of course, they love glucose, but there's something that is basically even more powerful, and it's ketones. And ketones are produced by your liver when you are fasting. And ketones are super energy for your brain. Fasting is one of the fastest way to get your brain to the hyper level. So that's how you biohack your brain capacity.
Very interesting. It's a really cool concept. I love this sort of stuff, all the kind of the biosphere, and it's also interconnected as well, which is so cool. It's like kind of like running a company. There's so many moving parts all happening at the same time, and it's all interconnected together. And it is really, really, really
It's
interesting.
inspiring.
Yeah.
It's inspiring, and of course we're constantly changing, and our environment is changing us. And when we spend together more time, we are affecting one another as well.
Yeah.
So whoever you live with,
Really cool.
you are getting stuff from them, and you're giving them some stuff. So yeah, there are such things as toxic environments in a real sense, that you actually, if you go to another country, your microbiome might get really upset, and get you off balance. It's a constant battlefield.
Yeah.
You are a
Yeah,
battlefield.
battling yourself.
Yeah, you're battling yourself, but you to understand that there are all kinds of things happening, and basically hormones determine what you feel, how you sleep, how you move,
Everything.
when you're hungry, when you feel content. It's all about hormones. So
Yeah.
if you start digging into hormones, you get really excited, because then you realize, okay, I want more of this. Can I get more serotonin, please? Oh, serotonin cocktail for me now. And you realize how you can get serotonin.
Yeah.
You know, oxytocin, dopamine, all these. But you don't want to overdo dopamine, because then you obviously get dopamine kind of hook. It's called digital dopamine. So digital short videos can create this digital dopamine.
Right.
And if your brain gets into that cycle, you are basically shooting like drugs to your system all the time. You get hooked, and then you have to detox that.
Yeah.
But you don't feel content, but you feel like you need this rush. But rush is very different. Like you feel like, I'm getting this, I'm getting this. It's like candy after candy after candy. But at the end of the day, you don't feel well.
Yeah.
And that's when you need to also have this calm down effect.
Definitely. It is super interesting, but we got to move on. We've been stuck here for a little bit, but it's now story time, which is my favorite part. But I want to know how you became the amazing woman that you are today. You know, how did that happen?
How did that happen?
Yes.
Thank you for saying that. I don't feel that amazing, and because I feel that life is every day an exciting journey. So I wake up every morning like, oh God, it's like Teletubbies. I'm kind of a Teletubby. I don't know, it was given to me by birth or whatever.
Being a Teletubby?
Being a Teletubby, because I wake up every morning, and I have always been like this, that morning, you know, I don't feel that energized, but I feel very hopeful. I'm like, it's an adventure. For me, every morning is adventure. And I okay, today is exciting day. And I go, oh, so many cool things happening today. Yeah. So I kind of, the anticipation is something that I like. Okay. But way back in the days when I was 5 years old, something really awkward happened. And that was, I lived on a military island in front of Hanko, and Hanko dynamite factory actually exploded. But because it was connected the island to the mainland, the sort of earthquake hit the island as well. And for some reason, I had gotten mad with my parents, as any 5-year-old would sometimes have these fists. So I had this, probably they forced me to eat something that I didn't want to eat, something healthy. And I ran out and slammed the door exactly at the same time when the kind of an earthquake shook the whole island, and of course our house, and all the windows were making this funny. And I remember looking, and there's the window, and my parents come to the window to look at me, and their faces, I still have that picture in my their faces, they look at me, everything is shaking, like, God, I'm powerful.
The power. It's like the beginning of like a superhero movie.
Exactly.
Like, I can feel the power.
I can feel the power. And somehow, even though later I learned that it was that affected me. And I still feel that I have enormous power. And there was a time when I was actually thinking that I caused it. It was me causing it, and then the dynamite exploding.
Yeah, right.
So that's how powerful I am.
Yeah, you can make a dynamite factory explode.
Exactly. So what was the root cause? It was me.
Yep.
So I don't know how that, because this was a story that I kept telling myself, and I kept feeling that I can change things and I have a lot of power.
Yeah.
And a month later, Apollo 11 happened, and I was watching it on telly with my grandparents, and I was mesmerized of that. For me, it meant that anything is possible. So at a very early age, I kind of got into this. I can make the whole island shake. And then human is walking on moon. And I think that sort of set me off this trail that I'm still on. I'm a space enthusiast. I love everything about space. I would love to go to Mars if I can. That's why I'm biohacking. So
trying to live long enough. That makes sense.
Yeah, to be able to travel to Mars.
Logically, of
course. So I feel that I have this very naive kind of approach to life that I am invincible, I am powerful, and I will not die.
Right. I don't think that's naive. I think that's logical.
So yeah, it's
like I am all powerful.
I am all powerful. So, and I think that kind of attitude, when it's sunk in, and it has been there since early age, and I've always
5 years old.
I've never felt like I'm a victim of anything, or I never even had the urgency of thinking of me as a victim. Of course, people have played me down and whatever, whatnot. But it's just like, well, it's their problem. But how do it's not getting into me. It's, I know I am powerful, and I know I can do these things. And since I have been able, during my lifetime, I have seen things grow from very small things into larger things. So I'm very confident that whatever we decide to do, and if we put our energy into it, it will happen, and it will be huge, and it will have a serious impact on everyone. So I
that
think
makes a lot of sense.
So I think that is so inspiring for me. So that's why I always wake up in a feeling, okay, what do we do today for the future to make history? Because I love history, and history is all about what somebody did for the future to make history. So I like to say that I make future to make history.
That makes a lot more sense now. Your whole personality is evolved around, I'm invincible, I am all powerful, I will destroy anything that gets in my way. I love that. I think that's amazing. I think you're such a cool, inspiring person, and that does make a lot more sense now.
But I'm still also a realist. But I like to think that I'm standing on the shoulders of giants, and I want to be one of the giants that someone can stand on my shoulders as well, and they can be even more powerful. So I'm building up this step for anyone wanting to do even greater things and wanted to achieve something that maybe I've achieved something, but at least I was not playing it down. I was trying to make it better and maybe inspire someone else to do even greater stuff. And hopefully do much greater. I don't think I mean,
that's all we kind of hope for, is that our part in history will encourage someone else to do better than we ever could. I think that's definitely a very important human trait,
and I have a lot of hope on you.
That's really great. Unfortunately, we are coming to the end of the episode, but I do have 3 final questions for you. So the first one is imagine it's 2035. So that's in 10 years' time.
Mhm.
What does your life look like? What does net profile look like? Where are we?
I think we are probably in a very, because from net profile perspective, of course, I hope the business is bigger. I hope
Of
it's
course.
it has
Influential.
more
and
influential,
impact.
more impact, delivering more impact on more businesses. But of course, if I realistically look at the geopolitical situation, I think there's a turbulence ahead.
I mean, there almost always is.
But now we have not seen this kind of, in all my lifetime, it has been going for the better. Now it's going for the worse. So I hope that we have peace at that point. I hope that I am able to still help people to survive, prepare and survive crises, because crises are inevitable in this kind of world where we live in. And I like to also be able to inspire people and give them hope, a lot of hope for the future, even though I think it's realistic to say that we are not going to easy waters at the moment. We are going to really rough waters. But if we prepare ourselves, we have a better chance of surviving, maybe mitigate certain things and hardship. And sometimes, yes, preparedness is also deterrence to some extent when we talk about this kind of, if you look like a poisonous
frog, then
you won't be
you
eaten.
probably won't be eaten. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, and then next question: how can listeners follow along with your journey?
I think social media is, of course, but I'm also on TV.
You're very famous.
I wouldn't say I'm famous for certain social circles. Yes, people know me. I like to create an impact on different kinds of groups. So you would probably see me in voluntary military service services, and also I do a lot of charity kind of things. You can see me in different places, but it's very easy to be part of my network.
Yep, because you know everyone.
Well, I hope I know enough people to make an impact, but I also love to know people that give me so much.
Yeah.
So I get inspired by other people's stories as well.
Which is great. And then last question, how can listeners be useful to you? So what can they do to help you?
What can they do? Oh, well, I think none of us is ever so confident about our impact that if we don't get positive feedback from time to time, we don't really know if we are doing an impact. And I think it's really, really good to hear people say thank you. Many times when you do something and they see it valuable, they say thank you and they say how much something affected, how much I was able to help them to do something or get inspired. Because I think this positive energy is it's a circular economy kind of thing. It comes back and you're supposed to move it. So I give it to you, you give it to someone else, and somehow it comes back to me, and it inspires me as well. Again, I think one of the funniest thing was that there was I think it was 5 years just before the pandemic, a woman on the street came to, hey, Christina, you don't remember me, but about 10 years ago we were in this wedding and we were in the same time in the bathroom. And I started to tell, and she started to tell me something about her current job, and we didn't know each other. And I said, "Well, have you thought about this?" And she said, "Well, I haven't seen you anywhere, and we haven't had a chance to talk. But now that I see you there," she just told me, "And you said something very remarkable to me, and I decided to change jobs. And guess what happened?" And then she was telling me how her life changed. And that was like 2-line sentence I gave to her in the bathroom.
Very random.
Very random. But it made me feel so good that even small encounters, small positive upliftings can have fundamental effects on everyone's lives. And think about me lifting her up, change her life, or somebody else putting her down, maybe changing it for the worse or had no effect at all. So how about us giving each other these moments of uplifting? What will happen? because I think we all benefit from a society where people are thriving, because not everyone is thriving at the same time. And sometimes we all need support. We need to see, thank God people around me are doing well, because they are lifting me up as well.
Exactly. Well, that was really, really awesome. Thank you so much for being on my podcast once again. Thank you so much. I'm really glad that I know you. I'm really glad that we get to chat like this. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Meg. I'm so proud of you. I hope you succeed. I'll give you a hug.
Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this week's episode. To make sure you don't miss next week's episode, follow us on your favourite podcasting app. Do consider leaving us a review, as it helps the podcast tremendously.